What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary, former 5-division world champion, superstar boxer, undefeated, retired, now turned promoter, legendary, Floyd Money Mayweather, promoter of and CEO of Mayweather Promotions, promotes undefeated 2-division world champion, superstar, currently the WBA lightweight world champion, Gervonta Davis, right? Floyd Mayweather just recently was seen when he was training, undefeated WBC lightweight superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney, who has been a staple at the Mayweather gym, grew up at the Floyd Mayweather gym, and that drew a lot of attention as a lot of people questioned why Floyd Mayweather would train a rival of his fighter, right, in Gervonta Davis. Devin the Dream Haney and Gervonta Davis have a rivalry. This stemmed from them having two glorified sparring sessions, and a lot of people have different outlooks and different opinions on what took place in those sparring sessions, right? So a lot of Floyd Mayweather caught a lot of attention, a lot of flack for training and giving tips to Devin Haney, while his fighter Gervonta Davis was off training somewhere else. And Gervonta Davis is under Mayweather Promotions. He's the best fighter at Mayweather Promotions. He's the ace, right? And you're giving tips to a guy who's gonna have to cross paths with in Devin the Dream Haney. But with that said, right, now after Devin Haney had made comments that it's all good, Floyd Mayweather, is a hater, and he said it's all good because he could train himself. He never needed to count on anybody. This is after he saw the sparring sessions between Floyd Mayweather and Devin Haney. And then Floyd Mayweather responded to those comments indirectly when he stated that, he's just helping out another young black boxer, and he's willing to help out any boxers coming up behind him. Now, currently, he's starting to get into training and getting more hands-on with his promotional company, right? So we know Leonard Ellaby, CEO of Mayweather Promotions, is the face of Mayweather Promotions, right? He's the one that you see out in the field all the time. So now a lot of people question why, Gervonta Davis never took Floyd Mayweather up on his offer to train out in Las Vegas and to train at the Mayweather gym on a consistent basis. Gervonta Davis said he was his own man. Gervonta Davis, stayed loyal to his trainer, Coach Calvin, out in Baltimore. He once upon a time did train with Kevin Cunningham out in Florida. But he likes to stay loyal with Coach Calvin, right? And so with that said, now it seemed like they have made amends, right? Now they are back together. You see them jogging now. You see Gervonta Davis at the Mayweather gym, and he seems to have a different mindset, right? We heard recently 4-division world champion, superstar boxer Adrian Broner in a recent interview stated that Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather don't even like each other, right? They're like the odd couple, right? And so, inside the ring, they all have the same outlook, right? Adrian Broner wants to be the best in the ring. Gervonta Davis wants to be the best in the ring. And Floyd Mayweather obviously wanted to be the best in the ring. But his work ethic is different from a lot of guys, right? Floyd Mayweather is completely 1,000% dedicated to the sport of boxing. That's it. The sport of boxing comes first when it came to his career. So it's hard for him to identify with guys that like the lifestyle that they like over the sport of boxing. And I think that's where there's the disconnect between Adrian Broner and Gervonta Davis. And I'm saying this because Adrian Broner recently came out and stated that he tried too hard to be like Floyd Mayweather. And once he found his identity, he realized that, they're two different guys, right? And they just don't mix. They have a mutual agreement and a mutual friendship, but they just don't mix, right? And he's pointed to the fact that he's more like Gervonta Davis they have more in common than Gervonta-Tank Davis does with Floyd Mayweather. Now, Adrian Broner introduced Floyd Mayweather to Gervonta-Tank Davis, and he was a talent that he could not pass up, so he ended up signing Gervonta-Tank Davis. So, with that said, Gervonta-Tank Davis shows a lot and a ton of potential. His ceiling is super high, right? But to me, stylistically, he presents a totally different style than what Floyd Mayweather is used to. I'm curious to see how can Floyd Mayweather train Gervonta-Tank Davis. Now, physically, from a physical standpoint, as far as getting in shape and learning little tips and pointers, obviously Floyd Mayweather is the greatest, in my opinion, to ever do it, right? You never saw him get tired in a fight. You never see him unprepared. You never seen him miss weight. I know people point to the Juan Manuel Marquez fight and they say, well, he missed weight the Marquez fight. I think that was done on purpose. I think that was calculated. And he was only 2 to 3 pounds over at that point in time because he was used to making 147. So the weight, it was like a 145 pound, weight limit for the Juan Manuel Marquez fight, coming off of nearly a 2-year layoff. So I think that was calculated. That was done purposely, right? So, from a physique and a physicality standpoint, I think that Floyd Mayweather definitely could teach Gervonta-Tank Davis tons and tons of approaches to be successful, right? And to have his stamina A+. But when it comes to stylistically, Gervonta-Tank Davis, his style is completely different than Floyd Mayweather. For one, the first thing that jumps out at you is that he's a southpaw, right? He's much shorter. He has a much shorter reach. His style, he's more explosive. It's more of a power approach with his power than is a pure boxer standpoint, right? He's more going to have his power on display than he is, his boxing skills, right? So, but Floyd Mayweather training him is a great thing. You see them running. This is a huge fight Gervonta-Tank Davis has coming up October 24th. The last 2 fights that he had were the biggest fights in his career. Yuriokis Gamboa, he missed weight. The fight on the Conor McGregor undercard, with Floyd Mayweather was the biggest fight in his career because he was on the biggest platform in his career. He missed weight. He lost his belts on the scale. The best thing he could do, and then you heard his Coach Calvin said that he attempted, to take matters into his own hands and take his nutrition into his own hands in the Yuriokis Gamboa fight. That's a bad approach. That's a bad mindset. You have a team for a reason. You have to let them do their job. You don't take it into your own hands. You let them do it, and you worry about, the sport, right? You worry about what you have to do inside the ring. So, he missed weight. Training with Floyd Mayweather, training in Vegas, as Floyd Mayweather, made that offer publicly a number of times. Floyd Mayweather made mention that he offered for Gervonta-Tank Davis to drop everything in his hometown on the East Coast and make his way out to the West Coast and Las Vegas and train. He said that he would set him up in Vegas. He would set his mom up, his family, so on and so forth, etc., so he could be comfortable in Vegas and train him, so he could solely focus on his boxing career and train out in Vegas and train at the Mayweather gym. And like I said, Gervonta-Tank Davis declined that offer. Thus, a lot of people pointed to the reason that Floyd Mayweather was training Davis-Haney, was to poke at Gervonta-Tank Davis. I don't think that to be true. The reason I don't think that to be true is due to the fact that Davis-Haney grew up in the Floyd Mayweather gym. He trained with Floyd Mayweather Sr. He trained with Roger Mayweather. He trained with Jeff Mayweather, right? He's been training at the Mayweather gym since he was 5, 6, 7 years old. So he's a staple at the Mayweather gym. He's a pillar there, right? So it's not uncommon to see him training at the Mayweather gym. It was just uncommon to see Floyd Mayweather training him. And I have to point out another thing that's uncommon. We haven't seen Floyd Mayweather train anybody. That was never his MO. Floyd Mayweather has never trained anybody, right? So to see Floyd Mayweather training, Davis-Haney was out of the ordinary to say the least, right? That was out of the ordinary in its own right. You understand what I'm saying? So to see Floyd Mayweather training anybody, was out of the ordinary, right? You're not used to seeing that. So I have to say that it wasn't the fact that we saw him training Davis-Haney. You know, maybe we should have pointed to the fact that you see Floyd Mayweather training after the loss of his uncle Roger, who was a legendary boxer and trainer, and after the loss of his children mother, he said that he'd started to dedicate himself to giving back to people, right? And one of the things he wanted to do was getting back in the sport of training, and he's back to the sport of boxing by training boxers who were young, upcoming. And he said that he wanted to be the best trainer, and the way to honor his uncle Roger was to be the best trainer in the sport of boxing. So I think that him training Davis-Haney wasn't so much of the fact that it was a poke at Gervonta-Tank Davis. Now, maybe, you know, Floyd Mayweather does nothing. Everything he does is strategic. So and maybe part of it, you know, was to publicly let Gervonta-Tank Davis know, you know, that he was training Davis-Haney, who's his rival. And they talk about that fight often. You know, but I think more so, you see Floyd Mayweather also training his nephews. You see Floyd Mayweather training other fighters like Rolly, right? So it's not, you know, he's getting in the sport of, he's getting in the training business in the sport of boxing. So, but Davis-Haney recently came out and stated that he wanted to fight Yuriorkis Gamboa, Gervonta-Tank Davis' last opponent and foe, who he knocked out in the 12th round. You know, he wanted to fight him so he could have, so the boxing world, the pundits and the fans could have, you know, a barometer to compare the two, right? And he wanted to outclass Yuriorkis Gamboa, and then en route, and hopefully for him to land a Gervonta-Tank Davis fight. Gervonta-Tank Davis has a Leo Santa Cruz fight coming up. Leo Santa Cruz, a 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer. You know, that fight is October 24th. So, after that fight, there's a lot of potential opponents on the rise for Gervonta-Tank Davis. You have Ryan Garcia, who seems to be on the verge of facing off against Luke Campbell. And you have Teofimo Lopez, who's recently came out and called out Gervonta-Tank Davis. And Davis-Haney, he said he wanted a common opponent so that the boxing world's fans and pundits could have something to compare the two to. Gervonta-Tank Davis, a neutral opponent, and he wanted to outclass him, hopefully to you know, set up a fight between himself and Gervonta-Tank Davis. So is Floyd Mayweather willing, as Mayweather Promotion CEO, to make that fight happen between Gervonta-Tank Davis and Davis-Haney? You know, that would be, the storyline would be huge. First and foremost, I think that hopefully we have to hope that the fans are allowed to be in the arenas by that time, because the storyline for that would be absolutely enormous. I think that would be a pay-per-view event. I think that, you know, especially Gervonta-Tank Davis beating Leo Santa Cruz, that's going to make his star power grow. I think that, you know, it would be absolutely enormous. But the storyline, to see how Floyd Mayweather is in between, you know, and how that plays out, right? Is Davis-Haney, who normally in training camps and in preparation always is at the Mayweather gym. At that point in time, how could he train at the Mayweather gym if Gervonta-Tank Davis makes himself a staple at the Mayweather gym for his training camp, right? So that would place Davis-Haney outside of the Mayweather gym, and to see if Floyd Mayweather still wants to, you know, give pointers and, you know, how his relationship with Davis-Haney plays out at that point in time, because, you know, Davis-Haney beating Gervonta-Tank Davis hurts his bottom line. So, you know, we have to see how this all plays out. But, you know, Gervonta-Tank Davis dedicating himself and fighting at and training at Mayweather gym, should I say, and you know, being a staple there and getting focused. He said that he was making a change, and it looks like it. It looks like he has a whole new mindset. He's focused, he's dedicated, and hopefully, you know, he's locked in, and hopefully we see the best, you know, he reaches full potential. The worst thing in sports is to see guys that have all the athletic ability, all the potential in the world, and it goes by the wayside. So hopefully this newfound mindset of Gervonta-Tank Davis, focusing, locking in with Floyd Mayweather, aside from their personal life, you know, maybe they don't mix, you know, in their personal life, but you got to take the pointers. You got to take what Floyd Mayweather, he paved the way. He showed you the direction. He gave you the blueprint. You got to take it. You got to take it. Davis-Haney is trying to take that. And Gervonta-Tank Davis, you could hurt Floyd Mayweather's bottom line. You are his cash cow, right? So you should lock in with him. because you directly affect his bottom line. So, like nobody else, right? As far as being a promoter. Now, he makes money, obviously, doing other ventures, you know, exhibitions and things of that nature. But as far as his promotional company, Gervonta-Tank Davis is carrying Mayweather Promotions. So, lock in, focus with him. You know, even if the personal life, it don't mix, that's, you know, sometimes you can't mix business with pleasure, but you make sure you capitalize on your business part, and then you handle your pleasure, you know, in a different way. So let's see how this plays out. But I'm excited. I'm ecstatic to see Gervonta-Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather training and making amends and focusing on the sport of boxing. But that's all I got for y'all. I expect Gervonta-Tank Davis to knock out Leo Santa Cruz. I expect this to be a showcase fight. I think Leo Santa Cruz is undisciplined defensively, and I think that Gervonta-Tank Davis is a matchup nightmare for Leo Santa Cruz. I think Leo Santa Cruz is tailor-made for Gervonta-Tank Davis, and I expect Gervonta-Tank Davis to show the world that. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.